You hear that? So this very successful woman of African descent from Kenya who's come to the United States, worked her way up through Target, and is now the CEO of Essence Fest, a foundational Black American event every year. This woman is descended from slavery. She's descended from slavers, the same people that sent us over here. And so what I'm trying to explain to you all, and the point I'm getting at, and we're going to ride this horse on in, and I'm almost done, but I got work to do. What I'm trying to explain to you, family, a lot of these Africans who come to our country and talk down to you, these are the successful Africans. These are the ones with money. Their ancestors are the very ones that sold foundational Black Americans into slavery. Let that sink in. The kingdom of the Wadu, the Yoruba people. Yeah, don't y'all love them? I'm Yoruba. The Yoruba people. They had an important slave port and trading post. They became a target of the Dahomey due to its lucrative involvement in the slave exports. In other words, they were making a lot of money, and the Dahomey said, look, we're going to come take over. That's the Yoruba people. The empire of the Oyo. That's in modern day Nigeria. The Yoruba people, large inland empire, supplied slaves to the coastal end traders. So the Yoruba people were inland, and they were inland supplier. So they would buy from other inland people, capture other people inland, and they would trade it to the people on the coast. They used their cavalry-based conquest to capture and sell quote unquote war slaves. You understand? The Yoruba people. And here's another, the Aro Confederacy, the Oro Chukwa, the Igbo people, modern day Nigeria, control vast slave networks via religion and you understand? And something they call the Ebini Ukpabi Oracle. All right. They combined, they deemed their motivation was they had spiritual authority with economic control to dominate slave routes. They were like I call them the Yahtzees. They were like the Yahtzees of they had the right to dominate it. You see?
Hearing about so-called diaspora wars, and let me tell you something, I feel that all of that is baloney. Black Americans have never called for a diaspora war against other Africans at all. In fact, we have always been very supportive of other members of the diaspora.
Because the algorithm is a little tricky, I'm going to help you out with this one. Take a look at this. Is this the example of support that you're talking about? Wishing to unalive people's families doesn't sound really supportive to me.
I think the thing that Black Americans really need to start doing in order to keep the others out of our events, we need to go back to at some of the events, We need to. Because when I think about it, when the YNs, when they weren't really called YNs back in the day, when they were busy some of the blocks, they were nowhere to be found. Sacrifices might need to be made.
Can you imagine if an African person says something like this? Now, if you guys didn't know, this is actually a federal crime in all seriousness. Look up 18 U.S. Code 875. This is a federal level crime that you guys on the internet just doing so casually.
Serious. Before I meet you in real life, you don't want to meet me, baby. I'm telling you, you don't. Bitch, I'm just saying though, what you saying,
Maybe it's just me and I'm missing a certain chapter in this diaspora dispute, but when did people start physically threatening harm on each other?
Why African people don't like us? They go buy our meat at the grocery store, and y'all gotta spend all damn day in the hot sun trying to catch y'all shit, skin it, gut it, and boil it, and eat every damn thing of the animal that you don't supposed to eat.
Are people under the impression that African people like racist and racial stereotypes projected towards them? Coming on the internet and boldly stating or implying that African people are so primitive that they don't even have grocery stores is a little bit diabolical to me. Sorry to be the one to break it to you, but you guys are not victims in this conversation.
It's so easy. Yeah.
Hey, ha. Yo, ya man, amen, oh, can't take back here. DJ, give me now your cool here. Let me tell them how the thing goes. How the thing goes. Okay. Chebe meka tamua. Say my cooking and go drink God. You want to bamba? You wanna tea with the big boys? Now you the wrong, get the kitty, you the wrong, get the cat off with drink with the top cup. Hey.
My people, don't let paid demons usher you into hell. Okay? He's talking about things he doesn't know about. In Gabon, we have an institution called Bourse de Stage, which would mean scholarship and internship. So our future professionals are sent abroad to study a field that we don't have available at home. All of us have access to it in Gabon. Okay, my people, before you are set off to go and set ablaze your own people because your brain is stuck in slavery, let me give you a little tour of the Agence Nationale des Bourses du Gabon, all right, the national scholarship. All right, so my people, let me give you a quick tour of l'Agence Nationale des Bourses du Gabon. So this is their website, as you could see. It's a benefit that is at the disposal of all Gabonese nationals. Everybody gets, whether you're a son of a rich man, you're a son of a poor man, it doesn't matter. Other nationality come to Gabon and live in Gabon and acquire citizenship just so that their child could benefit this scholarship. Other nationality comes and marry Gabonese, to take advantage of what we have going on at home. And we don't mind. Sometimes a Gabonese passport could get you a visa to any country you want quickly than some other passport. So when our people come, they marry us, we don't mind. Okay? We don't have that sick mentality you guys have here. Like little slaves are, they're not used to much. Everything is crumbs. They live in such state of mind of lack, and it's dangerous. Okay, so this is the Agence Nationale des Bourses du Gabon. So this is at the disposal of everybody. Whether you're a son of a rich man, the son of a poor man, it doesn't matter. You Gabonese, you get it. Your father is Gabonese, you get it. Your mother is Gabonese, you get it. You're married to Gabonese. Your kids you had before even that Gabonese, they become Gabonese, they get it. Okay? So let's continue. Now, here it's listed the different kind of scholarships that are available. And if we go down, I'm going to show you something. When we go down here, for example, here it shows the data, like for the year 2022, for the fiscal year 2022, Gabon has issued 22,788 scholarships, all right, to 22,000 families. Okay, they got that to send their kids in 43 different countries. America is not the only country in the world, as you could see. Yep. Agence Nationale des Bourses du Gabon, which literally means National Agencies of Scholarships of Gabon. Okay? So, it was instituted by our first president in 1960s, immediately after we became independent. The first president we had, his name was Leone, a fun guy. Okay? He was president from 1960 to 1967. So in the 60s, the generation of our fathers, mothers, and aunties, they were already going abroad, especially in Paris, Canada, and even the States. So, and that institution was maintained by the following president because he became too radical for the colonizers. They had to take care of him. And guess who they brought to power? A TK, okay? Even though he was forced to become a puppet, he's a puppet my father actually worked under. For those who follow me, I told you my father was an ambassador. I was literally raised in South America. He had 3 embassies under his belt: Venezuela, Uruguay, and Argentina. So he was my father's boss. So their administration carry down that legacy in Gabon. Other countries have been having scholarship from the time we became independent. I know that Kenya have been sending their students abroad since back in the 60s as well. Ivory Coast, those I know for sure. Senegal, Mali, all these countries, they used to have scholarship, but gradually with time, the dictators they put over us ruin everything. As you know, our corrupt government, they come and steal the crumbs the colonizer allow us to have. And those crippling major institution. Right after independence, There were no university in Gabon. Where did you think our fathers went to school at? A lot of them went abroad, and they were sponsored by our government. So that's the system we have at home to level up the field, okay? Whether you come from a very, very poor family, but you stand a chance to have a doctor in that family, to have an engineer, to have a nurse, and so on and so on. That's what our president put in place to level up the field. Now, the new guy that just came, the French, they took the guy who used to watch our former president back to make him president now. One of the five who came and embarrassed themselves at the White House recently. Yes, he went back home and announced that they're cutting off the scholarships. Okay, they're cutting off the scholarships abroad because a lot of our students don't go back. Well, the generation of my fathers and mothers, they used to go back because institutions were running, hospital and everything were running. But now the dictators are running the country down to the drain. They're sharing the proceeds of the minerals with their colonizer who keep them in place over us. So a lot of institutions are ruined. People go home with degrees and they don't find any work. What do you want them to do? They stay abroad. We have those institutions. And in Gabon, this president, he announced it. And that's it. The youth has drawn the line. They want him gone because of that. Because we will not allow a president to come and take it away from us. That's the only benefit we get from our countries. Free education. Anywhere in the world where we want. Do your master put such thing at your disposal? No. So don't let demons come and rattle you, okay, and spring you to action to go and do evil against your own people based on a lie. What you have to understand is that history is being defined now. You want to remain a slave, people will master over you. So the little chat life that you guys are having, 20 years from now, that woman in a green dress, the daughter, the son, the niece or the nephew will stand in front of your kid and tell them the story. Did you know that in the year 2025, a war literally broke out between the Africans, immigrants, and the Black Americans who are also of African immigrants? And you know, the US government did everything they could to put out the fire. What history gonna say about your collective is being defined now. So you make the choice. All I can tell you is if you cast a stone, you will get it back. Africa is not the mother you can slap and live to tell. We are not British. I know your masters slap their mothers and they're still walking around dysfunctional. But you slap your mother is the end of you, per African norms. So be careful. No.
This box better than the box he was held in. I'm Mama D in the outer. I call him Tabby like doubters. He like it when I get drunk, but I like it when he be sober. That's top of the top, but I never fuck with beginners. I let them play with my pussy, then lick it out with his fingers. I'm in it.
You have to understand that betraying us has been lucrative for certain bloodlines. It's been like that. We don't just come up and do whatever. All of you came on the ship, but all of you are not in the same level. Because of who you are, because of what you carry in your blood, because of the ancestor that walked with you, the rank they were, all that is transferred, okay? So don't listen to devils like that. This guy who went and dug up his white mother's teaching, because I looked at him, he looks biracial. And since our people, they have been made slave in their brain, anything a little light skin is closer to God, all right? How do you let genetically compromised individuals stand before your faces and tell you anything about the history of your people? The other night when one of our royals reached out and said, hey, Queen, you better get into that light. There were a lot of people in that life. It was basically like that kind of demonic kind of type of energy. People thirsty for blood. Literally, when you see them agitated on the street, is into this chat life, and they be having chat lives late at night. Of course, that's when demons come out. You know, when they're gathering doing evil, they know what they're doing. But what our genetically compromised son that ran that life doesn't know is like his Danish uncles ran to Ghana and apologized, okay? They ran to Ghana and apologized. while your auntie was talking all the rubbish they've been teaching to their kids forever. Their kids sleep well at night, while ours can't keep African out of their mind. They have to shed the blood of the Africans. They are thirsty for the blood of Africans. They are calling death over the head of Africans because individuals such as this, and yet it's all over the internet. The same people who say our people of African handed them over our people are there apologizing. Very recently, they went and apologized. These lousy traitors, sons of ours, they're sitting there trying to rattle you up to hit on your people, okay? So these guys, all these troublemakers, the Tariq Nasheed, that Yvette girl, the Phil Scott, the other Dennis guy, all of them, they've been riding the elevator. But the truth is coming through the stairs. What is the outcome? At the end of the day, both of them make it to their intended destination. So sooner or later, you will see that what we've been telling you is the truth. But this is the blood of his white masters dividing you from the grave. Yeah, he's biracial. I told you the dead work for us beyond their grave. If our ancestors work with us, what makes you think that their ancestors don't work with them? If you don't know. That Phil Scott, his wife people, probably were hanging our people on trees. I heard a sister broke his heart so bad he became so hateful toward black women. He went and grabbed himself, you know who. That's what they do. And remember, those who follow me in my teaching, what do I say? Our people say, the man takes the nature of the woman he sleeps with. Let me repeat. A man takes the nature of the woman he's sleeping with. And all of you guys, who do they have in their arm? White women. So those of you who compromise the bloodlines, yes, you open up a door to have an infiltrator through blood. They have that access. Some of them, they even would be activated in someone who looks completely black, but they still have that in their gene. So be careful. So to our angry biracial kid, that Dennis boy, our kings are not made. Our kings are born, all right? Chosen by the divine and the council of ancestors. Is nothing the living should manipulate, okay? So your father was probably disgruntled and wanted to be king. Thank God, thank Zambe, that people like your father were never over our head, because the European would have wiped us out by now.
Look, we got some more foo-foo. And we finna eat this. Well, guess what? We finna eat this with some stuff called, hold up, let me open this. This right here is called banga soup. Oh. Yup. Hold up. Finna make a mess. Hold up, man. Hold up, making a mess. So what you want to do? We already popped the foo-foo, so it's okay. That part's done. Reach off in here and grab you a mess of foo-foo like that right there with your knuckles, and you knead it together like so. And then what I thought was freaking cool is this fella mashed it like this. And you got you a little spoon right there. So what's this right here? We finna dig off in this. I ain't had this one. We had the foo-foo, but we ain't had this one. Oh. That right. Oh. Oh yeah, that banga soup, that's where it's at. That banging, I like it. Oh, it's okay. I know what the problem was. The problem was you need to get you some more of that foo-foo. Ram off in there like that right there. Make you a nice little ball of it like that right there. Go ahead and get your soup back up here. And look, there's some meat off in there that comes off a fish or something. I can't remember what they said it was. But look here. Look at that. You can't tell me that. Oh my. But look here, this is what we're gonna do. They say to get the full flavor is you ain't supposed to chew the foo-foo. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna count 3. It might not turn out to be 2, so here we go. I'll be done. Tasted exactly the same. But look here, you better go get you some of that foo-foo and that banga soup, because it's a 10 out of 10. Y'all go get you some. You have a good day.
People be coming to my page like, oh, I'm not African. If you don't get your musty, crusty, dusty ass off my page seeking my validation, because you ain't never gonna get it. No, you're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Okay, you're never going to get me to say, oh, girl, you ain't African. Boy, you ain't African. It's not gonna happen. Why you keep coming over here telling me you're not African? What? What's that gonna do? Is you trying to convince me, or are you trying to convince yourself? It sounds like you're trying to convince yourself. Okay, go tell your family that you ain't African, that you hiding this stuff from. Okay? Go tell your job when you fill out them applications and things that you ain't African. Go tell something. Go tell it on the mountain. Okay, but don't tell it to me. I'm not going to validate you. Get it through your head. Okay? My name is Hoodoo Butterfly. All right? That means I practice African American culture. I am not afraid to be African. I ain't afraid to be African American. I ain't afraid to be Black American or none of that stuff. I ain't trying to be nobody else. And if you in my presence, you ain't gonna be nobody else. All right? I'm not going to support your delusions. So quit coming over here telling me, I'm not African. No, everybody's save it. Save the drama for your mama. Save it for your boyfriend or your girlfriend, because I'm none of those. None of those, okay? I'm going to tell you how it is over here. All right? And your asses wasn't over here before 1492.
He said, oh, people wouldn't just pull up on you like that and start snatching your people. Yes, they did. In the case of our kingdom, in the case of the Fang, when the Portuguese came, just like you do around us, you Black Americans, you come and play nice. You go and pull your old dashiki. You come and tell us whomever you know in Africa. So we drop our guard. So we're like, okay, you could be one with us. When we pull you in our homes, then you pull your knife like your master taught you and stab. Just like many of you have left swords on my back. I don't walk around hateful because of that. I understand that the African you came from probably got beat the shit out of your vessel. I understand that. But you also have to understand us. Your masters haven't changed. They're still the same people. You had to survive, but on their turf. Just like we had to survive them back at home. You had to survive them here, so I understand. In the case of the Fang, they pull up. They're like, they found a route to our land, which is known to be rich in all the things they needed. They're going to trade with us. So while the king was doing what we do, our hospitality, entertaining them and stuff, showing them around and stuff, their crew were already snatching people. Report went to the king that, hey, these guests of yours, we need to check them out. There's already 3 families of whom the daughter didn't return home from the river. Yes, they started snatching people's children. The king said, okay, we're just going to raid their sheep. So they went and searched their sheep and everything. There they were. Once apprehended, they said that if we kill them, that Portugal will send their backup and it will be the end of this. Send them over, but you are not going back. How about that? And at that point, we drew the sword. We killed them all. Yes, we killed them all. And we prepared for their motherland to send more people. And we fought these bastards for 9 years straight. It wasn't an easy take. We didn't have the time to sip on tea with them. They keep on shrinking our land. In the beginning, it was the Portuguese attacking us from the west. And then the French defensive was quite aggressive in having us lose the land we had toward the south. So you see, the landmass of the Fang, what he had been reduced to after colonization. So I don't know, those of you who are dumb enough to believe it was a trade. Our forefathers were not dumb to enter into trade that will end up with all of them dead, their kingdoms dissolved, their people taken away, their wealth ransacked. What kind of trade was that? Only someone who really think, either narcissists, these are the ones who think we sold them because, my God, they're sick. They have an overinflated sense of selves, okay? Overinflated sense of selves. You guys say you're rich and stuff. Yeah, you're wealthy, but nothing close to our forefathers. Nothing close. Our fathers were bosses, sitting on gold. They would spoil the people everywhere they went. Every time people bump into their king, it was a good day because the king would bless you with something. They were throwing gold, pebbles like this. I see you guys making it rain and stuff. Where did you get that tradition from? It's us. So our fathers were making it rain in gold, pebbles, and they had no business selling their kids. War. It was war. War happened to us. And that was the only way your slave masters could have acquired our excellencies. Okay? That's why you see so many found. Here, the DNAs are popping everywhere. Our excellencies are here, right? It was literally over the dead body of our kings that they remove our people from our homeland. You see them springing up everywhere. I've seen my fangs born in America. They are as fine as the heavens they descended from, just like their queen. Yes, my people. So when you step out with that chin up. It took them to go through 4 kings, literally, for you to be pulled out of our homeland. And I'm the descendant of a boy who was crowned king at 14 after they had slaughtered all his fathers. And he's the one who led the people into hiding until they started talking about their so-called independence. Okay, my people, to the narcissists out there, you are not that special for any king to sell you. Okay, you complete rubbish. And you're confirming it by the simple fact that even in captivity, okay, they got us, but at least keep your mind free. You couldn't even do that. You took everything you gave to your master. Now you're becoming a virus around people. Yeah, you're weak. They got your body, now you gave them your mind. It's your problem. But we suffered serious losses. If they didn't scramble on Africa, Europe wouldn't even be existing. Diseases would have wiped them out. Poverty would have wiped them out. If you don't believe, go and do your researches. You think stuff dirty European had enough money to buy millions of souls out of Africa? You really think they're God? You think they're more than your master? These are your gods, I realize. To every crime, there's a motive. Okay? Unless you believe slave trade wasn't a crime. If you believe slaughtering millions of people and uprooting millions of people, that's not a crime. You must be an animal. What these agitators are not telling you is that they go around telling you, having you confess from your mouth that your king sold you. What does it mean? It means that you belong to them physically and spiritually. Because according to tradition, when someone is banished, number one, they are not to return to their homeland because it's only the criminal they banish. That's why I tell you guys, y'all need to chill out with that. Why would our kings banish you all? Why? For what? Spiritually, it means that you have been repudiated by the people, by the land, and by the ancestors. And when a banished person goes back to a place he was banished from, something bad happened to him, okay, or her. So stop saying that. Our kings never banish you. When your agitators have you say that, it means this country itself doesn't owe you reparation. You become their property. They can use and abuse as they see fit. All right? Remember Jesus? What did he used to ask the sick? Do you want to be made well? You have to confess it from your own mouth. When you say, we sold you, you are the entire property. And if you think that will give you reparation, you dumb. It won't happen. Because it has to be a parent home claiming you. It has to be a parent home saying, hey, I had children here that you came and kidnapped and enslaved over there. So now that they are working on reclassifying the hateful one, which I love, right? Because the sad thing is like, our children are mixed with the slave master's children. Yes, they're slaves, the ones who act like them, who swear, who have been betraying our freedom fighters, who come in chat rooms like that. These are their slaves. So our people, our children are mixed with them. And it's kind of delicate. Our fathers on the continent want to go to war for reparation. And then you have a vast group of, unlike what you guys say, don't come and tell me it's a tiny minority, because I still want to see royals shutting down that TikTok noise. Okay? These FBA group have grown under your nose because many of you act like your masters. Okay? You love to have attack dogs. You see somebody attacking somebody, you don't say anything because quietly you agree that this is how you create monsters. There's no way in our African community a group among us could grow to be like this, so discriminatory. But here in America, it's hard to say because it's one of your favorite tricks you learn from the master, the casting the stone and hiding the hand. There's no way an evil group such as FBA could take root where there's a majority of African Americans. Yeah, you guys have that. I'm telling you, you guys have that in you. You see somebody doing evil, you just sit there because you approve. Our people say, he who silence consents. He who silent consent. But you guys are quick in reporting the videos of African. You guys are quick in reporting anybody. But you guys are not majority enough to report all the FBA video and shut them down. So I don't believe we're not on board with this. I don't believe it. I know our people suffered of a lot of trauma, including multiple personality disorder. Okay? We have to choose the path to the light. Either we unite or we get ready to perish, my people. There's no way out of this.
Africans sold other Africans into slavery is another divide and conquer tactic that the European continues to push so that black peoples could divide each other amongst ourselves. This is why you have a lot of black peoples that say, fuck Africans, they sold us into slavery and all of these things. It's working. But we have to understand something. The transatlantic slave trade was a European enterprise. So yes, you had African sellouts who participated in selling their own peoples, but that was a small minority population. The same way you got sellouts today, like black police officers, like black politicians that have no intentions of bettering the black reality and all of these things, you had sellouts during the transatlantic slave trade. But here we go again. We're categorizing all African people because of a few sellouts, because the slave dungeons, which are still in Africa today, Elmina Castle, Cape Coast Castle, you see, were built by Europeans. The ships were built by Europeans. You see, the voyages were controlled by Europeans. You see, most of the Africans that were captured during that period of time were captured by Europeans, not by other Africans. So, for example, you could just be chilling in your house, chilling in your backyard, and the Europeans pull up with the chains, pull up with guns. You see, and they were just capturing you, throwing you into dungeons. You see, this is what was going on. But they try to push this African soul of the Africans to make us hate each other, to make us divide each other amongst ourselves. No, the majority of African peoples were captured by Europeans, not by other Africans. It was a European enterprise, not an African enterprise.
Yes, they were coming and snatching people, just for your information. Okay? Moving on.
It's so easy. Connecting, yeah.
Hey, ha. Yo, ya man, amen, what you think bad hearing? You give me now your cool hearing. Let me tell them how the thing goes. How the thing goes. Okay. Chebe meka tamuwa. Say what you can go drink God. You want to bamba? You wanna G with the big boys? Now you the wrong, get the kitty, you the wrong, get the coffee drink with the top cup. Hey, let me see how the thing goes.
Those watching us from home and just wondering why all of the sudden, this uproar, this agitation all of the sudden. My people, let me tell you what recently happened that sprung this. Recently, when they had their BET award, one of our sons, one of the richest one, the top guy we have in this country, stood before the world during BET award, and you know BET award is watched around the world. So he stood before the world and he claimed us.
I want to talk to you about this thing that is happening in this country, and I want you to pay attention to it. Don't miss this. They are removing our books from libraries. They are removing our stories and our history. They are removing our names from government buildings. It's as if someone wants to erase our footprints. Because what we need to understand is that if our children don't know our history, they won't know our power. But the truth of the matter, it's impossible to erase our footprints because we left them on water. What I mean by that is, we were snatched from our homeland, brought across the ocean, and left footprints all the way to America. When they tried to silence a king named King to keep his voice down, it still echoes through generations to generations to generations because you cannot erase our footprints. They literally took the jewels out of the crowns in our crowns in Africa, put them in their own crowns and in their museums, trying to erase our history, but yet and still, we still rise as kings and queens. They went into Tulsa, Oklahoma, and tried to burn down Black Wall Street, but yes, we are still building businesses, making our way, building companies, becoming CEOs, because we are still building, still leaving footprints. So this is not the time to be silent. This is not the time to give up. This is the time to dig in and keep leaving footprints everywhere you go. I can tell you this. I have made more black millionaires, hear me when I say this, than any studio in this city combined because I'm making footprints. So I don't care if you're struggling, if you're trying to make it, you're trying to build a business. If you have a dream, keep making footprints. Don't let anybody stop you. You can do it. And the last thing I'll say to you is this. Hear me when I say this. Don't let your worry be greater than your faith.
And he claimed us. He told his brothers and sisters who they were. He said, don't get it twisted. We are kidnapped royalties. We come from kings and queens and emperors and empresses. They didn't like it. And they couldn't let it slide because of who said it. They used to people like Morgan Freeman come and disown us in the face of the world. They used to other idiots that run around and say they're not African. But the top guy, the top king in the country, stood in front of the world and told them who they were. And of course, our children were happy. And if you're watching the news, they're trying to mess with him too. So now they unleash their attack dogs on Earth.
I'm in Africa on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. At a restaurant on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Don't fall for the hype, y'all. You are African.
They don't like us.
Our brothers and sisters. That's right.
In Africa on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
I'm good on any MLK Boulevard. I'm good on any MLK Boulevard. See my vision with a tech, bitch, I'm Malcolm X. Haters dreading my effect, they want that DOS effect.
Get your hands up high like a false arrest. Let me see them up high, this is not a test. Yes. Put them up, this is not a test.
It's so easy.
Hey, ha. Boy, I'm in awe. I'm in awe. Oh, you take back here. If you give me now, you cool here. Let me tell them how the thing goes. How the thing goes. Okay. Chebe meka tamua. Say my kina go drink God. You want to bamba? You wanna tea with the big boys? Now you the wrong, get the kitty, you the wrong, get the coffee drink with the chop cup. Wait, you can see how the thing goes. How the thing goes. Oh, you're telling me who been through.
I just became an official Gabonese citizen, African citizen. My daughter just became a citizen. Mom, did you become a Gabonese citizen, Mama?
Hold on.
Mama.
Let me get my passport.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cadence, did you become an African citizen today? Gabonese citizen? Wow.
The whole family.
Whole family.
Oh, yes.
Africans. Land, exercise, that's a universal language. We are the most resourceful and creative people on earth. Look at this. I don't ever want to hear nobody complaining ever again in life that you can't do something, that you can't exercise. We too creative, baby. Gabon, Libreville.
5 Black American celebrities who got their African nationalities. 5. Tiffany Haddish. She got citizenship from Eritrea in 2019 as a way to connect with her father's heritage. She applied for dual citizenship. 4. Dave Chappelle. Ghana is his humble African abode. The radiance and inclusivity in Ghana enticed him, and so did Steve Wonder, who is his biggest inspiration in taking up Ghanaian citizenship. 3. Ludacris. He holds Gabonese citizenship courtesy of his wife, Eudoxie Mbogiin, a native of Gabon. 2. Samuel Jackson. He discovered his Benga ancestors and applied for citizenship in Gabon. He exemplifies Black American citizenship in Africa together with his wife. 1. Idris Elba. His father hailed from Sierra Leone, where he got citizenship on his first visit to his paternal ancestry.
That's right, Sierra. Tu es Beninoise. I don't talk to slaves because our people didn't sell anybody into slavery. Talk to prisoners of war, fallen soldiers, fallen kings, fallen priests. They're the one I'm talking to. Yes, there was a price. There was a price to acquire you that had to be paid. But that price was never paid by your master. That price was paid by your kings who shed blood as they saw we couldn't win that war. But tradition says that when the people found themselves in a position where they can't make it out alive, the king must pay with his life. That's the price for your head. If you don't know the reason why you think you're a superman, superhuman to have survived slavery, oh, you're so boastful. You think the thing you went through were humanly possible for anybody to bear? No. But anything a king shed blood for can never be destroyed. That's the law ruling our people. So you should give gratitude, okay, to that covering that came with you. You came with the blood of your kings over your head, protecting you. So you need to show gratitude to your kings, because they would have made mashed potato out of all of you. The price was paid. And it was in no guns, it was in no jewelry, it was in no nothing the European, broke, starved European could give us. Come on, crying out loud. They were dying with diseases, with starvation. So that's what it is. Don't listen to snake that come and rattle you. and then you go and be envious and jealous and start taking actions against your people. You wonder why they dehumanize you. They didn't just start dehumanizing you. They dehumanize our fathers first, and even beyond their grave. Not only they burn their library, and people who dare come out and tell the truth, they try to go after them too, because it's been lucrative, okay? It's been lucrative. You have to understand that the master benefit from keeping you ignorant, keeping you hateful against your own. You present a security risk. They stole millions of souls. They don't know what to do with anymore. Of course, in order for you not to become a threat to them, they're going to tell you your people sold you. If you're dumb enough to think that a so-called trade that was between the European and the Africans ended up in all the Africans, I say African kingdoms destroyed, all our royal compounds burned down to the ground, all our history burned down, all our art and sacred relics in their museum. When you feed the people who rather draw you to the shadow because it's comfortable to believe that your parents sold you, because the narcissist tend to think that he's special. So I understand that, okay? The narcissists shine with other people's energy. Just like the people that were able to corrupt in some places after they killed the king. They're going to take a little stupid African and bump out their head and tell them, we're going to make you king. They take the king they just slaughtered, they put his crown. They ridicule everything. And the descendant of these people who were never meant to be in front of you because they have no wisdom. They were not mandated by the God of our ancestors to even approach their people. Now they have access to you with their thirst of validation, with their thirst of power, with their thirst of control.
If you looking at me, then you looking at Star. It's the takeover, yeah, I made it this far. Hey. Went viral for making videos in the car. Okay. Snooze on you won't even since I was hard. It's amazing, all God has done. Motivate the world and keep them number one. So late at night, when I lay on my pillow, staring at the window, yeah, you get the memo. Pow! Hey. So if you, I sing Z-O-E. Listen me now. Show. Mu Uganda wobasiri yasigolibwa mu kubanganya ebyennaku wano bifuka binyumo. Ali serious kusaba oyite mu bwangu kubaffe wano tusika binyombo. Masanyu agataina na komo. Comment section ewomuchile emichomo. Uganda enyuma nogamba mama nyawo. Abafa bapapa baredde bagayavu nyo.
Now we no longer have masters. But you choose your masters on daily basis by the people you choose to listen to and follow. All of you who call yourself hustler, where did you get that hustling mentality from? If your ancestors were that dumb that they would sell their self and their kingdom and their sovereignty and their people and their wealth and their art, if you can't see in there that war happened, then you deserve the treatment you've been getting, okay? Because you have to think about them as well. The masters are mastering. If I did the nonsense they did to go and kidnap a bunch of people and bring them, of course they become a security threat for you. You went and kidnapped human beings. We're not talking about puppies, pets, no. We're talking about human beings who will go on their own and start digging and looking for the truth. It's in your best interest to continue burning the library, to continue killing the truth teller, to continue doing the mess they've been doing. But there won't be no more bloodshed. We have entered into the age of the Aquarius.
Okay, it is time we fix this misconception, because Africans are not fleeing their countries. No, they're not. This is the Global Fertility Index for 2024. You can check the one for 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, and beyond. You'll see. As you can see, let's move closer.
Do you see South America? A few people are fucking enough to keep up their population, but not that much. Do you see United States? Nobody in America is fucking enough to keep up the population of America. You see Australia? No one's fucking enough to keep up their population. It's gonna end. Their population is going down significantly. See Europe? Russians are kind of keeping up. The Chinese too. Chinese, Russians, they're kind of fucking to keep up. You see Africa? Hey! Sterility, virility. You see the difference between sterility and virility? So, Africans, black people, to answer your question, are not fleeing their countries. Africans are going to Europe because in a few years, this is what Europe is going to look like. And that's, who's going to walk these streets? Nobody. You're not having enough babies to keep up your population. That Neanderthal genetics that you've been so proud of is dying. You're becoming sterile. You and your people are becoming sterile. We, the pure Homo sapiens from Africa, we have fucking pure genetics. We are very, very, very fertile. The men, Nigerian men, you see how we leaving flags everywhere? The women, you see our women, touch her, oh, she's pregnant. So we're not fleeing. Somebody has to colonize these streets in 30 years. It's just common sense. It's literally just common sense. We're not fleeing. We're migrating to what will become available land for our descendants. Get it? We're not fleeing, we're colonizing.
The video I just shared of our son saying that we're not fleeing, we are colonizing. You saw the map. When I tell you that there's a curse of extinction on all those who came and shed our blood, right? Look at the map. And yet Africa is poor, Africa is dirty. Oh my God, that's their experimentation lab. We are the guinea pigs. They come and dump Ebola. They come and dump HIV. They're still dumping. They're still even cooking viruses to try to wipe us out. But the truth is speak, right? Look at our map against all odds because Zambé said, my people are the first people on earth. And Zambé government was overthrown by these Europeans. That's the proof we have that we didn't sell our people. We welcome these savages and they wage war on us. Okay? Do you think the ancestors who shed their blood, a lot of them are even still in jail, detained, who shed blood? MLK, Malcolm X, all the other ones, all our people, they still have in detention. You think our Black Panthers sitting in jail cell, they gave their life for this? This you guys are doing today. Be careful. Be very, very careful. We are not the simple beings that made you believe we are. Everything we do against Zambé's order, against natural order, comes at a heavy price on us.
So the foundational Black Americans and all the pretendians who can't stand Africans and would rather focus on being mad at Africans than being mad at the colonizer are calling for a boycott starting August 1st to not spend with African businesses because they think that Africans are somehow arrogant and think that they're better than us. As the Pan-African princess and as someone who is pro-Black, we, the Pan-Africans, we, the pro-Blacks, are not down with that, especially on Black August. Matter of fact, don't you ever disrespect Black August by going against people that look like you and letting the colonizers skate free. If you don't know that there's strength in numbers and that you dividing from our African cousins as African Americans and Africans dividing from their African American cousins as African is adding to white supremacy, then you have not organized or you were just born yesterday. Some of you even tried to use Malcolm X to back up what you're doing, saying things like, oh, Malcolm X is FBA. If Malcolm X was here today, he would not be down with your boycott. He would not be down with your cause. And guess what? The proof is in the pudding. And I quote, Malcolm X in the 1960s, gave a speech. And he said, he gave this speech, to the Africans, all right? And to the African Americans. And he was calling for unity. And this is what he said. Since the 22 million of us were originally Africans, who are now in America, not by choice, but only by a cruel accident in our history. Our history. We strongly believe that African problems are our problems, and our problems are African problems. And then he gave examples of why that I will be talking about today in my live. Okay? So we're not down with the boycott. I'm going to put out a call to action. If you are Pan-African, if you are pro-Black, if you're not down with the division, if you know what it means to have strength in numbers, if you know what it really means when we say touch one and touch all, then on August 1st, instead of not spending your money with African businesses, spend your money with African businesses and post a video about it. Or not, you don't have to, but spend your money with African businesses. Spend your money with African American businesses and show that we are together. Africans, go ahead, spend your money with African American businesses. Spend your money with African businesses. We are in this together. We are connected. And those who don't want to acknowledge the connection, it doesn't matter. Because whether they acknowledge the connection or not, it's still there. And every time these self-haters look in the mirror, they see the motherland. And they hate it. Oh, well, we're not boycotting.
Learn when to shut the fuck up sometime. I wish I would side against Black people from any nation, from a Caribbean nation or on the African continent with a white supremacy-loving raccoon. I wish I would. On August the 1st, August is Black August. You need to Google Black August. Look it up on this app. Search it right now. Learn the history of Black August. When we played in the slave revolts, when Pan-Africanism was activated throughout the entire diaspora. August of all months is when Negroes plan to boycott other Negroes because they come from different countries and have a different mother language. This is the most coonery buffoonery I've ever heard of in my life. I'm ashamed of some of you people that call yourselves Black Americans. I'm an authentic Black American. I claim my African ancestry. I don't delineate between myself and Black people from other parts of the world. I don't give a fuck about a foundational Black American. I'm a real, authentic Black American that descends from the slaves that fought in the Union Army so that we could be a United States. All those Black people that fought in the Union called themselves African. So fuck everybody else. Proud Black American, African descendant.
Respectfully, I'm not boycotting no African braiding shops. I'm not. Y'all gonna have to beat me up about it. I don't give a fuck. I'm bald-headed. I cut my hair. And when my hair was about this thick, this long, they was able to put box braids into my hair. Knotless box braids. I was able to get my hair cornrow. My African braiding shop, they take out my braids, wash my hair, detangle it, and then put in new braids. Without an appointment. I get my braids done in 4 hours. 4 hours. I can order food to the African braiding shops. I can have my friends sit in the African braiding shops with me. I don't even gotta ask. Shit, if I have kids, I could probably sit my kids in the African braiding shops and I don't have to ask. They have AC in my African braiding shop and a flat screen TV. Each mirror is a LED light mirror. Okay? The African braiding shops has developed. I'll be damned if I have to sit there and read a fucking policy to get my hair fucking braided. I don't have to put a deposit with the African braiders. Each African braider that touch my head fucking eats down. I don't gotta pick somebody. Whoever gets me, I'm blessed to have. I don't gotta bring my own hair. I don't have to bring my own braiding hair. Shit, sometimes I don't even have to bring my own human hair if I don't want to. Okay, they have whatever color you want. actually. So I don't know where we boycotting the African braiders. I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not. And I won't. My African braiders are 24 hours. You see, it's 11 p.m. right now as I'm making this video, and I need to get cornrows done tomorrow morning. If I wanted to leave my house right now to go get my cornrows done right now, I could have got it done. Without an appointment. Boycott what?
So, enlighten me. What are we boycotting the Africans for? Please let me know. Quickly. Because I'm confused. What we should be boycotting is the stylists that don't include a wash in their services. That tell you to come wash and blow dry with the hair already done. They want you to come to the appointment with your hair done. That's what we should be boycotting. We should be boycotting the people that get mad when you want to come to your appointment 15 to 20 minutes early so you can be on time in the chair. Yeah. That's what we should be boycotting. I mean, I don't have a problem with going to the Africans. When I get there, there's 4 to 5 people on my head. I don't see an issue with that. What are we talking about here? Huh? No. What we should be boycotting is the stylists that are money hungry and do squeeze-ins. You're already overly booked. What are you doing a squeeze-in for? And then by the time I get in your chair, you all cranky and hangry and mad that I actually made it to my appointment on time. That's what we should be boycotting. I fear we're missing the plot here. The lights is on, but nobody's home. I'm not boycotting none of them. What? What's going on?
So let me get this straight. Y'all was in literal shambles when y'all didn't want to boycott Target, Gucci, all of them people who said they didn't fucking like us. But y'all so quick. Y'all moving swiftly to shut down the black business. I'm not boycotting no African braiding shop. Like the first chance Target got, the split second Target got to say, I don't fucking like y'all. They took the motherfucking mask off and was hard ER with the shits. And y'all still was like, yeah, I'm still gonna fuck with Target. But the only motherfuckers that could grip that little ass piece of hair at the back of your head, you wanna fucking boycott them? Really? I'll be so quick to tear down your own people before you would tear down a motherfucker who don't even like your own people. Like, these people told us to our face, yeah, we don't fuck with y'all. And y'all still went to their businesses, but y'all wanna tear down your own fucking people? The people that been with you since you was kids. Some of y'all been getting y'all hair braided since y'all was 4, bitch. Or younger, and y'all want to try to boycott them for what? The fuck, half y'all don't even know why. I don't even know why, and I don't give a fuck. Most of y'all want to boycott a motherfucker just because y'all see it's your own people that's doing good and y'all not doing good. That's some hating ass shit. But black people is the only motherfuckers that I know that will sit here and do whatever they can to tear down their own people. Y'all don't never want to see our own people do good. It's not making sense to me.
Black Americans are beginning to use racism in the same way that Zionists use anti-Semitism, right? You have minority groups, in the same way a minority group, the Jewish community, weaponize anti-Semitism to push supremacist talking points to the detriment of other people. You have the Black American community pushing supremacist talking points to the detriment of everybody who's not Black American. So I say this. I'm treating it like a white supremacist talking points. I'm treating it like Zionism. Just because you're a minority doesn't mean that shit's okay. And so I'm treating the FBAs and people who push that shit accordingly. If we're your enemy, you're my enemy. You're our enemy. And I encourage the immigrant, African, Caribbean, Palestinian, Arab, etc. community to do the same.
Can somebody explain to me what is going on? Why are people making posts about boycotting African businesses? Because I've been searching for the reason that this started, and I have not found an answer yet. And can't nobody answer my questions in the comments either. Why is this happening? And I'm telling you, I'm not boycotting nothing, baby. I'm at all the African restaurants, the Nigerian restaurants, baby. I'm in there, honey. They ain't did nothing to me. Nothing. Not only that, but I think it's so funny that y'all can boycott African restaurants and businesses. Talking about people that look like us. You can boycott them, but you can't boycott these nail shops. You can't boycott these restaurants, these chop shops that they put in our neighborhoods for a reason. You can't boycott them, but you can boycott your brothers and sisters from across the ocean that look like you. Y'all weird.
How y'all doing? My name is Raekwon Diamond Kamal, and I've been hearing a lot online about foundational Black Americans versus African immigrants that come here to America and settle and become African Americans. Now, myself personally, I don't have a problem with it because this is the truth. The only difference between foundational Black Americans and African immigrants is we were here longer. That's the only difference. But we are from Africa, the same as they are from Africa. You see, some Blacks have this idea that because our cultures are different, we cannot be put in the same category. Sorry, that's hogwash. That's bull. Okay? You see, Black does not describe our culture. It describes our race. If you are a melanated person across the world, you're considered Black. And they don't care what country you're from. I'm sorry, this is just the truth. They don't care where you're from. You're Black, okay? Regardless if you're from Africa or anywhere else where your skin just happen to be melanated, they see you, they go Black, okay? So Black does not describe our culture. American describes our culture. African describes our ancestry or where our bloodline is from, okay? And unfortunately, it appears that out of all the different groups on this planet, we're the only ones that have a problem with it, okay? Asian American culture is not the same as Chinese, Korean, or Japanese culture. It's not the same. But do you hear Asian Americans claim or deny or run from the fact that they're Asian? No, they don't. They're Asian American, and they're cool with it. You definitely don't see white people whose culture is definitely different from European culture. White American culture is not the same as European culture. Very different. But you don't hear white Americans being ashamed of their European culture. We just have a problem with it. I don't. Matter of fact, my family got rid of their slave names and took back African last names. That's why my last name is now Kamau. And I'm so proud of my African last name. It's from Kenya. I love it. So look, just know this. The only difference between African immigrants and us is that we were here longer. Only difference, but we're all still from Africa, making us all African American. And I'm cool with that. In the meanwhile, I know some of you might have some problem with it. I really don't care. But please, take care of yourselves and start loving one another. Talk to y'all later.
To my African people living in America, we Black, conscious, woke American people are not boycotting you at all and never will. What you're witnessing is what we call a psyop. A psyop is what we've been experiencing as people in America since there's been in America. It's meant to divide us and separate us. Now, the puppet masters usually have deep pockets and tied to some corporations. And what they'll do is they'll find the weakest of among us, the least educated from among us, and then they'll pay them to start some shit between us. And they're easy to find, easy to spot because they're so hungry to go out and insult each other. This is how it works. What they'll do is they'll find the weakest among us, the least educated, the most desperate, and they'll give them some talking points. You know, these Black Americans don't respect you. You could say these Black Americans, they were slaves. They were slaves. You were never a slave. Use that to hurt them. And then they'll go to the Black Americans. You know, these Africans, they allowed the colonizer to come into their own lands and colonize them and have them praying to white gods and changing their own religion. Use that against them to hurt them. To the Africans, they'll say, you know where you're from as a Nigerian. You know where your roots come from. These African Americans, they don't know shit because they're all divided and come from slavery. They don't know anything else. They have no ties. So you're better than them. And they'll go to the Americans. You know, Nigeria never existed before 1914. Most of these African countries have never existed before 1900s. And you know, most of the countries' names in Africa come from white people. Use that to hurt them. And it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until we're hurting each other, until it gets to the point where we're divided again. And then, remember when we were divided before? That's how they made us slaves, whether it be in your own country or in another country. Still slave. Slave is the slave. You gonna fall for this shit again? Are you really gonna fall for this shit? How many times it's gonna take before you realize you're getting played? How about this? Instead of falling for the same old bullshit psyop again, how about we look at the people who are playing this game and then
all this anti-African hate is having a reverse effect. Because all the intelligent motherfuckers that know they African and identify with their Africanness, weeding out all you motherfucking weirdos. All you motherfuckers we don't need no. These the motherfuckers all Marcus Garvey was talking about, man. When he was talking about going back to the motherland, man. He said everybody ain't going because everybody can't go, motherfucker. What we gonna take a useless motherfucker over to Africa for? You gonna be just as useless in Africa as you is useless over here. Y'all sound like a bunch of mindless slaves. Talking about we're boycotting Africa.
And I am not boycotting African braiding shops. I am not boycotting a place that I could walk into, get my hair did the same day. Why would I ever protest against convenience? Okay, that makes absolutely no sense. And who came up with this protest and what made her the spokesperson for everybody? My thing is, if you had a bad experience, you take that out on whoever you had an experience with. You just don't get mad at an entire continent and say we got to boycott our African businesses, because who is we? Okay, don't be speaking for me, because I am not turning my back on no good old African braiding shop. Okay, it's just not happening. I was with y'all when y'all was saying boycott Target. Listen, I stood 10 toes down on that one. Okay, but you're losing me talking about some boycott African business. Listen, Africans ain't never did nothing to me, okay? And this is how I knew y'all really wasn't serious, because y'all talking about something. It started on August the 1st. Listen, honey, why it gotta be August the 1st and not today? If you really that mad at somebody, why not start today? Like, it's given that you got an upcoming appointment and it's just a conflict of schedule.
The FBAs, or the fearful of being African members, are now calling for a countrywide boycott of all African-owned businesses in the US. I find this funny for two reasons. One, they don't realize that they're practicing isolationism. And two, you're literally advocating for the boycott of your own community, your own people. These are the people that you shop with. These are the people that do your hair. These are the people that watch your kids. These are even the people that are giving you your medical treatment and educating your kids. So I'm a bit confused as to why you would want to alienate 1.5 to 1.8 billion people over white tea supremacy and trying to make America white tea again. This is insane.
To my African family on the continent or around the world, I just want to apologize. I want to apologize to y'all for this rogue group of African Americans who are trying to delineate themselves from the rest of the race. I want to apologize to y'all because they do not represent the majority of us. They are just a slim minority of us that have this radical thinking where they want to be all by themselves. So I just want to apologize. I want to tell y'all, most of us do not think like them. Most of us are not on the same page with them. Most of us don't even associate with them because they are just a fringe radical group that is trying to sow seeds of discord within our race. They are not about unifying with anyone or anything unless you identify with their thought process. So in my eyes, they're just doing the work of the CIA. They are the new black terrorists that's trying to divide us and keep us separated. You realize they never talk about unity among us as a race. They always just talk about delineating and of this special class and this, but yet they always talking, using Republican talking points. But at the end of the day, man, we're not going to worry about them. For those of us that's out here in the field, out here doing work, we're going to continue doing our work. We're going to keep pressing forward. We're not going to pay attention to the haters. So for any of the family that feel disrespected,
understand that that's just a minority, a small minority.
What's going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. You know, 500 years ago, the majority of the black world, brown world, was in a place like this. Chilling. Minding their own black ass and brown ass business. You Europeans came along. We said, hey, how you doing? Come on into the cookout. We allowed you to establish yourselves and partake in the abundance that we have here. And what did you do? Like Neanderthal barbaric savages, you went and stole it. Ruined our great kingdoms. Stole our people, stole all our artifacts, stole all of our governing systems, put your name on it, and said you did it. You guys had 500 years of a head start in this new era. 500 years. And all of our stuff. And somehow, you guys managed to fumble the ball. Your reign of terror on this world is coming to an end. All by your own hand. We didn't have to do anything but stay black. We didn't have to do anything but stay excellent. You guys enslaved us. You see, y'all couldn't beat us. Y'all couldn't throw the dukes. Y'all never could beat us warrior for warrior. Y'all couldn't beat us kingdom for kingdom. But when y'all manufactured those guns that you also stole the technology from the Chinese, so you guys didn't even invent that. You stole that. You made your death machines and you went across the world where they were true warriors who you couldn't compete with when all was equal. But when you had the great equalizer, you just went along with your magic death sticks and you nullified thousands of years of effort. And you stole it to make your white Wakandas. 500 years, you made rules and laws to keep black people down while stealing all of our intellectual properties to build your white Wakandas. And with all that being said, you guys have still managed to fail. I don't see any supremacy in that. African Americans, we have the greatest story in the world. Any movie that you make where there's a hero and a villain, we will always be the hero. We will always be the villain. I mean, think about how great we are without even trying. Under duress to invent all the technologies that make the world great. To invent the technologies that has liberated us. The ability to communicate globally in an instant. That's thanks to us. The ability to put satellites in space, to put humans in space. We created the math to allow you to do that. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have made it. But with such a head start, to squander it has to be the greatest story of failure in the history of mankind. No group of people has ever failed so fantastically as the invention of these white people, these people we call white. With all the advantages, with all of the head start, with all of the suppression that you guys as a group of people participated in willingly on every scale, in every level, in every industry, collectively, only unifying to disenfranchise Africans and steal all of our stuff. Yet we still remain the most popular and influential group of people on the planet, and we still thrive, and you cannot keep us down no matter how systematically you try, no matter how institutionally you try. Do you understand how epic of a failure it is to have such a head start with your advanced weaponry and still and still lose. Us having to start from the bottom again, under the thumb of an inferior Neanderthal barbarian. Somehow we've managed to become rich. Our countries have managed to survive. We've created more countries. Hello, Caribbean. Our religions has spread, third biggest religion in the world, Ifa. Our nations are growing powerful, despite your purposeful disenfranchisement. Right? Our people are still being educated, even though you made it illegal for us to be educated. Per capita, we're smarter than you. There's more intelligent us than there are of you. We're doing fine. And you know what's crazy? You see, you ones in America, you fought against your own homeland. You went to war with your own people so that you could subjugate another group of people and not have to pay up to your people. The ones in America, you don't have a homeland because you fought again. You celebrate the 4th of July. You celebrate the day you won your battle against your own brother and sister. You celebrate. America celebrates biggest holiday. It's to celebrate the day you disconnected and delineated after a bloody war from your own people in your own homeland. You guys are rejects on a rejected colony that just so happen to have a geographical advantage because it's so far away from all the regular European conflicts. Right now, Europe is on the decline. The two most populous countries with the most people are genociding each other. All your European so-called first world nations who are really third world barbaric savages, savage outlanders, you guys are going broke. All the great European kingdoms are going broke because you no longer can use Africa to suck from like the vampires you are, like the barbarian orcs that you are. In a few decades, they will be telling stories about you in history books. Did you hear what I said? In a few decades, they will be telling stories about you in history books. About how savage you guys were. About a modern dark age when the Anglo-Saxon barbarian was in charge for this amount of time and almost destroyed the planet, killing millions of other species, killing different human beings on different islands, killing hundreds of millions of Native Americans, killing hundreds of millions of Indians, trying to kill off the African, but you couldn't do it. No matter how many guns you had, you still couldn't kill off the African though. You subjugated and other people, you stole their lands. You stole all of the Native Americans' land, but you couldn't actually steal all of Africa's land, even though you kept us in hardship, even though you kept us in colonialism. You still couldn't defeat us. Because that's how excellent we are. That's how, dare I say it, superior we are to be able to withstand and endure all of your barbarism. And still we rise. And soon, people like me are going to take over the world. And you are going to be in the position that you have always been in the real world. And that's a minority. You will have to either accept it or not. Either way, that's not our concern. You guys fumbled the ball. Great epic fail. They'll make stories about this. They'll make movies about this. About the great epic fail of the barbarian savage orc horde that terrorized the planet for about 500 years. After practicing terrorizing themselves for 8,000 years. Well, anyway.
It's so easy.
Connecting, yeah.
Hey, ha. Boy, I'm in I can't take back hearing. DJ, give me now your cool hearing. Let me tell them how the thing goes. How the thing goes. Okay. Chebe meka tamua. Say my kina go drink God. You want to bamba? You wanna G with the big boys? Now you the wrong, get the kitty, you the wrong, get enough to drink with that top cup. Wait, you can see how the thing goes. How the thing goes. Oh, you're telling me who blend you? And who? Alright, take it easy and let's play some behind point. Okay. But no, we can't use. Go school, you go the fam tools. And all the parameters that you want to farm through. See, even your papa not to save you. For all the calamity when they pick it done through. Man, all the niggas don't find you. Because that nigga put your girl, why you don't move? Oh, why you don't move? Ha, hey, come on, let's go. Chebe meka tamua. Say my kina go drink God. You want to bamba? You wanna G with the big boy? Now you the wrong, get the kitty, you the wrong, get the cat off the drink with a drop cup. Hey, Jeffy, you see how the thing goes? See how the thing goes? I said, telling me who blend you? And who? Okay. Because you made it to the top throne. Let me see what my Godfather can do. Cause he's the father to the fatherless, a mother to the motherless, and not to know what can do. But promise not to fight again, not to do anything that will hurt again. Cause if you do, let me see you don't rock again. And another time you go on again, that's what. Chebe meka tamua. You want to kina go drink God. You want to bamba. You wanna G with the big boys. Now you the wrong, get the kitty, you the wrong, get the cat up, we drink with a drop cup. Hey, you see me?